Okay, hello fellow crocheters, this is Arlene and I'm going to bring you today this cute little earring. It's very simple to do. In the middle it starts with a plastic ring, which I'm going to show you in a minute, but first let's talk about the metal rings that we have this one mounted on. We're going to start with, today we're going to use this small ring so that I can make the pair that goes to, actually no, this one is the middle one. But this is the smallest ring we have. This is the 2-inch ring. That's a 2-inch ring. And this is the, let me move over here, about 2¼ inch ring. That's the one we're going to use. And this one is about 2½ inches. Okay, so if you are looking to do this project and you need to find the rings, I have them in my shop, in my Etsy shop, so look for the links down below. Okay, so what else are you going to need? You're going to need a C-hook, 2.75mm hook, these little plastic rings. You can find them in your craft store, Michael's or Joann's or what have you. I don't remember what size they are, but I'll show you on the, I think they were 5/8 size rings, but let's put it here and find out. It's about 1/2 inch, and they're easy to find. You can find, like I said, you can find them in the craft store. And you're going to need a scissor to cut your ends, and you're also going to need your typical ear wire and a jump ring and a blunt needle to sew in your ends. And I'm going to use my pliers to help me with the jump ring, to open up the jump ring. Okay, so the thread we're going to use today is number 10, your typical best spread thread. And it's a number 10 size, and I usually double up my number 10 thread. This is 2 strands of your number 10 thread, and we're going to make the other earring to this one here. This is the purple variegated thread. Okay, so first we have to add our stitches onto this ring, and we're going to start with our loop. Make sure we don't stray from the camera. And you're going to mount your loop onto your hook, which is the easiest way to do it. Try to keep your thread on the back of the loop. Let's do our slip stitch. Does not count as your first stitch. And then we're going to do a half double crochet. You can do single crochets while mounting your stitches on. I like to use the half double crochets because it's easier to get my needle through them, because the single crochets is just difficult for me to get them onto my needle, get my needle through them. Okay, so that's our first half double crochet. We're going to do 16 of them so that we can get 17 stitches onto the on the ring. So that's 1. This is 2. 3, 4, 5, that's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, That's 10. 11. 12. 13. 14. 15. And 16. Okay, so we're going to slip stitch right in the first stitch that we made. Okay, and we're going to chain 4. That will be 3 chains for our double crochet, which counts as a stitch, and a chain 1. So that's 4 chains. Now we're going to put our double crochet right in the same stitch. That's 1 and a chain 1. In the next stitch, double crochet and a chain 1. The next stitch, double crochet and a chain 1. Double crochet and chain 1. And we're just going to repeat this all the way around. I missed a couple of chain 1s there, so I'm just going to go back and put them in. Our last stitch and chain 1. So then this space right here, we're going to slip stitch right through there, and we're going to chain 1, and we're going to single crochet right in the same stitch, chain 1, single crochet in the next chain. Oops, that's not a single crochet. Single crochet in the next chain 1 space and chain 1, and single crochet in the next chain 1 space, chain 1, and we're going to repeat all the way around. I got a little bubble here. I missed one of my strands there. Okay, so we came to the end where we started, and we're going to slip stitch right in the first single crochet, and now we're ready to put our crochet work onto the ring. Now when you're getting ready to put your stuff on the ring, you remove your needle, leaving your loop intact, and your ring is going to go right on top of your work like this. You want it to fall on top of your crocheting thread right here, and right in between your loop and your crochet thread. That's where you want your ring to fall, right there. And then you're going to slip stitch to get a hold onto your ring. You're going to single crochet right in the same stitch 3 times. 1, 2, or was it 2? Okay, I'm sorry, for the smaller ring is 2. 2 single crochets in each of these chain 1 spaces that we just did in the last round. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and go spreading it out as you crochet along. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, so we have to slide our stitches, and as you get closer and closer to finishing, it's going to get a little tight, and that's okay. You just go sliding your stitches as you go crocheting. And it looks like we need just 2 more in that last one. And there, we're done. And you're going to slip stitch in that first stitch right there. And there you have your earring. So let's just chain 1 to reinforce it. There. And we can fasten off now. This loop, if you sew it in while you're crocheting, if you crochet it into the ring, you can cut it off, but if you don't, like I just did, you have to sew it in. You can't just cut it. You don't want your earring to unravel. So we're going to take our blunt needle and we're going to sew in our end. And you pick up your stitches. Try to get it inside your stitches. You can do this a couple of ways. You can slide it right in through here like this, or you can reach out onto one of these stitches here, and you can wrap it around like this, wrap it around the post like this. You can do that a few times. And then what you do is from the top, you put it underneath those stitches that you just wrapped around like this. And don't pull it too tight, but just sort of put your finger over it and tug on it just a little bit to get it snugged, and then you can cut it off. And we're going to do the same thing with this one here. Let's get a straight edge here. Put it through a couple of times. And if you can swing it right next to this one that you just did, you can put it in the same one and use the same stitch and just slip it through there like this, and then you can cut it. Maybe reinforce it one more time since it's coming from the top. And then we can cut that off. And now we can put our ear wire on. We're going to put our ear wire right where we have the little lump from the slip stitch. We're going to use our pliers now to open up our jump ring. If you have stainless steel jump rings, they're kind of difficult to open, but if you have the other ones, they're kind of soft. You could probably just use one plier or your fingers to open it. But these are stainless steel and they're a little tough to open. So what I do is with the skinny nose plier, I hold it sideways like this. And with the wider plier, I hold it this way on the other end. And I twist it open just from front to back. That's it. Don't pull it apart, just swing it backwards. You slide your hook in there and you slip it onto your earring. And you just bring it back to its original position without pulling it apart. And that's it. You have your ear wire on. Now if you want your ear wire to swing against your face and not sticking out, what you do is you take the back of your earring, it should be facing you, and you take your little skinnier plier, and just right here at the neck of the ear wire, you're going to hold it right here like this. And you want to turn the ear wire towards you with the back of the earring facing you. This way, when you put your earring on, it'll be swinging correctly and not sticking out of your face, but the earring will be laying right alongside your face the way it should look. And that's it. I hope that you enjoyed the video, but before I leave, I just want to inform you, give you some information on the larger rings. Here's a larger one that I made. And with this one, just like we did here, we put single crochet and chain one on that second round at the top before we mounted it onto the metal ring. Well, the same thing I did here on this one. And I used the original 17 stitches in the middle, but for some reason this one didn't want to stretch for me. And this one is slightly larger, but I had to put 2 rounds. And I used half double crochets, which tend to stretch a little better. So I used 2 rounds of the half double crochet chain 1, and then I used 3 single crochets to mount it onto the wire. So just a little FYI, where you can vary and, you know, experiment with different sizes of rings just to make sure you get a right fit for mounting your earring, your work onto your metal wire. Sometimes if it's, I mean, it's understandable if it's feeling a little tight as you're crocheting and you're trying to mount it onto the metal wire the way I just showed you. But it's another thing when you're just excessively forcing it onto the metal wire. If that happens, just do another round of the what you just finished doing, which is like a simple single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, and that should make it more flexible for you. If that doesn't work, then you could probably try from the very beginning to just add maybe a stitch or 2. That should do the trick, because when you start adding the single crochet and the chain 1 over here, that should give you enough space and enough leeway, enough leverage to get it onto your ring when you're doing your final step. So I just wanted to let you know about that. And here's another strange one with this thread. This thread right here, I did the same thing, and I just had, and it's a slightly larger ring. It's larger than this one. It's one of the 2 1/4 size ring, and I did the same thing I did on this one, and I didn't need to take any other extra steps except that I put 3 single crochets to mount it onto the ring. I did the same, I followed the same pattern that I just did, and it actually fits onto the ring. So it all depends on the thread that you're using, and it also depends on the needle and whether or not you're a loose or a tight crocheter. So just keep that in mind, and I don't want you to get any surprises when you're doing it and you're trying to figure out why it's not working for you. There's always a number of reasons why something is not working out exactly the way the instructor is showing you. And it could be just simply the way that you crochet. Everyone crochets differently. Not everyone is a tight crocheter, not everyone is a loose crocheter. I consider myself a moderate crocheter. I don't crochet tight and I don't crochet loose. And if I need to crochet something a little tighter, I usually try to remember that I need to loosen my stitches up. So yeah, just keep that in mind, and I thank you so much for watching the video. And you can check the description box for the information on and the links to get the metal rings if you want to finish this project. Okay, so thank you for watching again, and till the next one. Bye bye.